Buying a house is likely the largest purchase you are ever going to make, so it makes sense that you would want to have that house inspected before you decided to actually make that purchase. So in this episode of Bald Prairie Real Estate, we're looking at why you should get a home inspection, what is likely going to come up in that home inspection, and what you can do if you do find problems in your home inspection. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bald Prairie Real Estate, where I educate you all about real estate. If you're new here, my name is Matthew Pfeiffer. I'm a real estate agent from Regina, Saskatchewan, and today I want to talk about why you should get a home inspection when buying a house and what types of things you are going to find, what to do when you do find problems in a home inspection. But before that, I want to help get you into that home even sooner, because I have a contest running right now where you can win your down payment. Yes, that's right, you can win your entire down payment so you can get to home ownership even sooner. I've teamed up with fellow YouTuber and fantastic mortgage broker Conrad Neufeld out of Saskatoon, as well as along with a number of real estate agents from across Canada. This will give you that opportunity. You can win your entire down payment. I'm gonna have the details to the contest below in the description. You can check that out. It only runs for 1 month though, so you've got to get in and you get entered right away. Let all your friends know as well, this is a fantastic opportunity. But before we get into talking about home inspections, let's talk about another terrible joke. This one combines space and computers, two of my favorite things. Why do astronauts use Linux? Because they can't open windows in space. If you have a terrible joke I can use in a future episode of Bald Prairie Real Estate, put it in the comments below. There isn't a standardized template for what is or is not going to get covered in a home inspection. Each area of the country is going to be different, as well as each home inspector is going to look at things a little bit differently. You also might need a specialized professional to look at certain elements of the house. Ask your real estate agent, are there specific things that we're going to need to bring in that specialized professional to look at? They're going to know what to look for based on their experience, age of the house, or things that they're seeing in the home. If you don't already have a real estate agent and you want me to recommend a fantastic one for you, because I know great real estate agents across the country, send me an email. I'm going to put my contact information below. I'd be very happy to set you up with a fantastic real estate agent. But home inspectors, they're kind of jack of all trades. They're going to be able to look at the house top to bottom and make sure that everything's been done correctly or identify problems, as well as looking at making sure things meet current and correct building codes. So they're going to start on the outside, look at the shingles, the windows, the doors, the siding, and make sure everything is draining away from the property correctly. On the inside of the house, make sure all the appliances are working. They're going to look at the mechanical elements of the house, so the heating system, the cooling system, the electrical, the plumbing, the sewer, all those types of things, and identify problems that they see or things that maybe don't meet code. Like I said, they might need specific professionals. So have them look at the house top to bottom, and also ask that home inspector before what things are going to get covered. Maybe they do or do not do something that you specifically want looked at. If you have to, bring in the specialized professionals to do that for you. What's wrong with a house is going to be a little bit more subjective, because what I see as a major problem with a house, or maybe not a big deal, is probably going to be very different than what you see as a big deal. Maybe you've got an electrician in your family, so an electrical problem isn't much of a big deal for you to take care of, whereas for me, that could be a really expensive fix. So there's going to be a gray area. There's not a black and white, this is good and this is bad. If you have this in a house, you can't buy a house. If you don't have this, you have to buy this house. Anything like that. It's not a black and white question. It's all what you can tolerate. But if you do find something in that home inspection, there's basically 3 major choices you have. Let's go through them one by one. The first choice you can make is to walk away. You've decided that this is a problem that is an absolute deal breaker for you, and you don't want to buy the house anymore because you've got that condition as a home inspection, or the home inspection is a condition, that offer. You walk away from that deal, you won't lose your deposit because the condition was not satisfactory to you. The second option is you can look and see, is this something that's pretty easy for me to fix? Maybe you don't have a railing on a staircase. That's going to come up in a home inspection because it doesn't meet code. It's probably not the biggest deal and not worth walking away from a house over. That's something you could probably fix fairly easily. So there's going to be some things in home inspection where you go, hey, that's not a big deal. I'm not worried about that at all. And the third is, what happens if there is a defect that needs to be repaired and you still want to buy the house? You can either have the seller repair that defect for you. Let's say it's a furnace, they're gonna put in new furnace for you. Or you can maybe look at having a price reduction to reflect that defect you've now found in the house. And then this gives you the option to then have that lower price and you repair the defect yourself. This is generally the path that I go down with my own buyers. Once again, go back to the example of a furnace. The buyers then have the ability to pick what model of furnace they want, who they want to install it, and when they want to have that furnace installed. Maybe there's a specific tradesperson that they want to have install it, or a specific furnace with different sets of features that they want in. So that allows them to do that. Means a little more legwork for you as the buyer, but you have more choice and flexibility. So that's the 3 options you have if you find a problem in a home inspection. Should I say, when you find a problem in a home inspection. So that's a little bit of the theoretical, hypothetical, what should or could happen. What actually happens though? So I want to give you a couple of examples, real world examples when I've been helping people buy houses of things that have happened and what we did to solve them. The first example is going to be from my personal life when I bought a house recently, and that was my home inspector found a type of plumbing called polybutylene plumbing. It's an early click together polyurethane style plumbing, and it is prone to failures, and it tends to fail catastrophically. It pops open and you've got water everywhere. Big shout out to my home inspector, Tim Kelly from Buyer's Choice, who found that. I'd never seen this before in a house or after, so he was the one who caught this. And because we found this, we went back to the sellers and said, hey, this is a major defect in the house that we were unaware of the time we were reviewing it. Now that we found it, we need to get this rectified. The price to repair or pull out all this plumbing and do all the repairs was probably going to be around $6,000. So what we offered to the sellers was to split the cost 50-50, reduce the price of the purchase price that we were offering by $3,000, and us as the buyers would take care of getting that plumbing replaced. The sellers agreed to that. We reduced the price by $3,000, and now it's up to my wife and I to get that plumbing replaced so we don't have this future problem that could come up. The next example is a friend of mine who just bought a house recently, and when they did the home inspection, they found cracking in the foundation. Now, if you're from Regina, this is completely normal because every foundation pretty much in Regina has cracks in it. That's just what happens with our basements because of our soil conditions here. So foundation inspections is something that we do all of the time. In this case here, he wasn't buying a house in Regina, so this was a much bigger concern to find cracking in a foundation. Now they had an engineer come out, look at the problem. He looked at if there was any major structural issues and determined, in his opinion, that there wasn't any concern of structural problems or structural failure. So he signed off on it, that he felt this house was secure, it was safe, structurally sound, put his stamp on it. For this buyer, that's fantastic. He had an engineer come out and look at it and certified that this was okay. And if there are future problems, he's got that engineer's report saying that this wouldn't be a problem, and they would have some liability and be able to go after that engineer if there were future problems. The last example is of a furnace. We were doing a home inspection and we found that the furnace was cracked, so it was defective and needed to be replaced. In this case, it was kind of unique because this seller was the owner of a plumbing and heating company, was able to get it replaced. They offered to the buyers that they would replace that furnace at their cost, the seller's cost. The buyer could pick the model that they wanted within reason. There was a little bit of restrictions, couldn't buy the absolute best model, but offered a really fair deal to them to get that replaced entirely out of the seller's cost. So the buyer didn't have to worry about taking on the cost or the project itself of getting that furnace replaced. The seller just went and did that for him. This was a great solution because the seller could get this done a lot cheaper than if he had to pay somebody to do it, and the buyer got it done by a reputable professional company in town. What's the takeaway then on this video? Get a home inspection when you're buying a house. And I understand that in some really hot real estate markets, having your offer conditional to that home inspection might be tough to get it accepted. But what you can do is maybe have that home inspector come see the house with you and go through it very quickly. It's not going to be a full home inspection, but at least you're going to have somebody take a look at it, because having a home inspection potentially is going to save you money. And at the very least, it's going to give you peace of mind knowing that you have bought a fantastic house and there are not major problems lurking that you don't know about. But you know what else you need to know about? Right here, a whole bunch of videos all dedicated to you, the first-time homebuyer, answering all of those questions you still might have. And this video right here is what the YouTube algorithm says you need to watch next on Bald Prairie Real Estate. As always, guys, thanks very much for watching.